This is Michael Popak, Legal AF. Energy policy for sale. Energy policy for sale. Donald Trump's trying to sell American energy policy to the highest bidder. That means big oil and fossil fuel executives, where he had a roundtable dinner at Mar-a-Lago recently and begged them to give him $1 billion to defeat Joe Biden so that on day one, he would enter executive orders written by the oil company in order to roll back hundreds of regulations that Joe Biden put in place. Joe Biden has led the most ambitious energy reform policy in American history. And it's not just all clean energy. Sure, the focus is on wind, solar, electric, and the rest. Limitations on certain things like exporting liquid natural gas. But Joe Biden also has approved, let's be frank, to balance it out, a number of fossil fuel projects. At least 3 or 4 giant oil projects have also been approved on Joe Biden's watch because he's a moderate, because he's doing the right thing, because he's balancing U.S. industry with clean energy policy in the right way. And as a result, we're producing more oil in this country than ever before. We're exporting more liquefied natural gas than ever before under the Joe Biden administration. But that's not enough for oil executives led by Harold Hamm, who basically writes Donald Trump's energy policy. He is the chairman of Continental Petroleum, which runs basically all of the oil production in Oklahoma and South Dakota. He's in the room. You know who else was in the room for this dinner? And I'll give you the list of some of the attendees. Doug Burgum. Keep an eye on Doug Burgum. He's the current governor of North Dakota, and he looks like he's being trotted out by Donald Trump as a potential vice presidential running mate. He's the one that they flew into Wildwood, New Jersey for this ridiculous rally recently. So it looks like, they're dating. Let's put it that way. And Burgum has also led and been the point person for Donald Trump's environmental policy. Susie Wiles, that shady fundraiser, political action committee person for Donald Trump, she was in the room. When the attendees showed up from Chesapeake Energy, from Exxon, from EQT Corporation, from the American Petroleum Institute, the biggest lobbyist firm, they are the NRA of fossil fuel. They're all in the room. When they got to Mar-a-Lago for some sort of chopped steak dinner, by the way, is that the best you can do, chopped steak dinner? Salisbury steak for the oil executives, Donald. On their chair, this is reported by people that were actually attending the meeting, were PowerPoint presentations about the border and migrants. At one point, Donald Trump said at the meeting that he's got a thing for Ultimate Fighting Club, UFC, and Dana White. And he said there should be two different divisions, one for illegal immigrants fighting UFC and one for real Americans. I mean, that's how cuckoo crazy for Cocoa Puffs Donald Trump has become. It's not just the clips from the rally that we like to run on the Midas Touch Network. He says these things behind closed doors. You know what else he said behind closed doors? Things like he's got to eliminate wind energy because the wind turbines are driving, quote, the whales crazy. Sounds like Donald Trump has spent a lot of time hanging out at wind turbines, if you know what I mean. But the putting all jocularity aside, the Senate Oversight Committee and Senate Budget Committee, and this one led by my doppelganger, Rhode Island Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, is looking into the reporting of our energy policy being put up for sale so blatantly, so transparently. I mean, it's one thing. We've always known that there's lobbyists in America. We always known that the industries try to shape policy around their industry. It's been going on since the founding fathers. That's what they were worried about. One of the things they were worried about. But now we have this blatant vote for me, give me $1 billion, and I'll let you, the fox, rewrite the chicken coop rules. I mean, that's where we're at right now. The big oil has already, according to reporting, written all of the executive orders that they want Donald Trump to sign on day one. Remember when he was interviewed by Hannity? They said, are you going to be a dictator? Are you going to be Are you going to commit retribution against your enemies? He goes, no, not after day one. That's what Donald Trump said. Day one, he's going to sign hundreds of proclamations and, more importantly, executive orders rolling back Joe Biden's regulations as if they never existed. Apparently, he's also promised big oil during this $1 billion auction where Donald Trump is up for sale. I mean, Donald Trump is literally up for sale. right? You want to own a piece of Donald Trump? You want a piece of him? You can buy it on DJT, the stock ticker for his technology company. Anybody, foreign or domestic, can make a major investment in Donald Trump. You want the suit off his back? He'll sell you the suit off his back in little pieces. The one he wore when he was arraigned in Georgia, being sold as NFTs. You want to buy Bibles or sneakers out of a van from Donald Trump? You can. I'm sorry. I mean, I just like my presidents, Republican or Democrat, to be dignified. They hold the highest office of the land, right? They are the leader of the free world. I don't want to feel like I'm at some sort of flea market where my policies and morals are up for sale. But that's what we have. When I first kind of rubbed my eyes when I read about the $1 billion sale going on, the garage sale at Mar-a-Lago of our oil policy, of our fossil fuel policy, of our clean energy policy, and the people in the room, and Susie Wiles and the possible vice presidential pick, and Donald Trump railing about the ultimate fighting club and talking about the border. He told the people that were attending this was all going to be about an energy roundtable, and the first thing on their seat is a PowerPoint about illegal aliens and illegal immigrants coming through the border. I know Donald Trump is just waiting to put all of them back in cages, which is what's going to happen during the restoration of the Trump presidency if that were to happen. But I digress. Let's get back to what Sheldon Whitehouse is investigating. Proper sleep can increase focus, boost energy, and improve your mood. Introducing Beam's Dream Powder, a science-backed healthy hot cocoa for sleep. If you know me, you know that Dream has been a game changer for my sleep, and boy, do I need sleep these days. I drink Beam's Dream Powder each night in order to get my optimal sleep. And I gotta say, I wouldn't be recommending this if it didn't actually help me. And today, my listeners get a special discount on Beam's Dream Powder. Their science-backed healthy hot cocoa for sleep with no added sugar. Better sleep has never tasted better. Now available in delicious flavors like chocolate peanut butter, cinnamon cocoa, and sea salt caramel, with only 15 calories and 0 grams of sugar. Other sleep aids can cause next-day grogginess, but Dream contains a powerful all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, melatonin, and nano CBD to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. The numbers don't lie. In a clinical study, 93% of participants reported Dream helped them get better sleep. Beam Dream is easy to add to your nighttime routine. Just mix Dream into hot water or milk froth and enjoy before bed. Find out why Forbes and the New York Times are all talking about Beam and why it's trusted by the world's top athletes and business professionals. If you want to try Beam's best-selling Dream Powder, get up to 40% off for a limited time when you go to shopbeam.com/legalaf and use code legalaf at checkout. That's shopbeam.com/legalaf and use code legalaf for up to 40% off. Sheldon Whitehouse and the Senate Oversight Committee and the Senate other committees have been looking at big oil for a long time. And as Sheldon Whitehouse put it, this makes us ask more questions about their policy. Are they committed to our United States clean energy policy, or are they committed to Donald Trump and wrecking it? Remember, when Donald Trump got in office, I know there was a recent poll recently. Tell us something you remember about the Trump administration and Trump. They asked Democrats and Republicans, people that voted for Biden or Trump. Well, I don't know why people don't remember that in every office that mattered when it related to energy policy, he put a lobbyist or former executive for fossil fuel companies in the positions to regulate themselves. The fox regulating the chicken coop, right? Coal executives, oil executives, anti-environmental people in charge of clean water and clean air, the polluters being part of that regulation. If you don't think that's what's going to happen again, then how do you explain the $1 billion request demand for Donald Trump? And they're going to do it. Already, the American Petroleum Institute is investing tens of millions of dollars to help get Donald Trump elected. And we got to fight back, right? The consumer of all of these products have got to fight back. And Sheldon Whitehouse is going to try to hold big oil and fossil fuel executives accountable for what happened here. But the only way we can hold Donald Trump accountable is at the ballot box. Yeah, there's also the criminal justice system, but we're seeing how slowly that's moving. So we got to do it at the ballot box come November 5. If you care about energy, if you care about our planet, if you care about leaving your planet and the United States to the next generation, and then you have to vote for Joe Biden. There's no doubt about it. And I want to be fair. While Joe Biden is credited with implementing the most ambitious natural resource and energy policy in American history, I'm going to let that land there for a minute, with hundreds of regulations for clean water and clean air to promote electric vehicles, to decrease the amount of liquefied natural gas export, right? He's also been fair and balanced about it and even-handed, and has approved a number of major oil projects around the United States and in states that matter, right? West Virginia, Alaska, and different places, because we need oil too. We've hit our highest oil production, not during Donald Trump's administration, but by Joe Biden's administration. Shows you he's fair, even, and balanced. He's not trying to destroy coal mining and oil production and gas and fracking and all of that. He's trying to manage it. He's trying to make it more environmentally friendly. He's trying to move the country and move the needle towards clean energy. And what's the matter with that? What's the matter with that? If it wasn't for some foreign conflicts and some other issues, the gas prices would be lower at the gas pump too. Of course, that's affecting Joe Biden's electoral chances. And I think we'll see a drop in gas prices over the next, several months. But regardless of that, how do you feel about Donald Trump selling his energy policy to big oil? If you're okay with that, then you know who to vote for. If you're not okay with the Mar-a-Lago dinner and those that were in attendance, and Harold Hamm trying to shape American environmental policy and basically drop all the barriers to regulation and turn this country over to big oil, then vote for the other guy. I'm going to continue to follow things related to Donald Trump, his administration, as we sit at the intersection of law and politics. I do it one place, exclusively here on the Midas Touch Network. Help them get to 3 million free subscribers before Election Day. This is the network that you're building, and we're building together with our bare hands right here. And then we have a podcast we like to call Legal AF, the podcast. It's every Wednesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern time right here on this YouTube channel. Join us. You'll find out why we call it Legal AF. After this report, you can kind of start to figure it out. Wednesdays, I do the show with Karen Friedman at Knifilo. Saturdays, I do it with Ben Mycelis, my co-founder. And then we do hot takes like this one about every hour at that same intersection of law and politics. So until my next hot take, until my next Legal AF, this is Michael Popak reporting. Heary, heary, Legal AF Law Breakdown is now in session. Go beyond the headlines and get a deep dive into the important legal concepts you need to know and we discuss every day on Legal AF. Exclusive content you won't find anywhere else, all for the price of a couple of cups of coffee. Join us at patreon.com/legalaf. That's patreon.com/legalaf.